All right. Season 1, episode 6, I believe. We're gearing up towards the season finale. We had another special guest, Jacco, and today we'll be doing a deep dive on the Fiberplane platform layer for deploying, observing, debugging, testing your MCP servers. So let's dive in.
We've been working on a page for improving the visibility into what's happening with your MCP server.
Yeah, and normally I could use the inspector to test, the classic MCP inspector to test out my my MCP server. What brings this more to the table?
So this can also do what the inspector can do, as you can see here on the left-hand side. But we can do a little bit more into showing a little bit about what's happening on the server side. So as you can see here, we have the inspector, we have a chat, but then we also have traces.
And this is basically, this first page is a sort of project overview page, your entire MCP server at a glance.
Yes, yes. And it showcases, you can see the tabs here at the top, and these columns are basically sort of short versions of all the information you can find behind that. So there's more there.
So I got the inspector, I can chat with my MCP server, overview of the traces of all the calls that are being made, and then a good overview of my recent deploys. Okay, let's go left to right. So what MCP server do you have deployed actually? What do we have in there?
This is the Everything MCP demo server. It has several tool calls, resources, and prompts. Maybe it would be good to just test and make a tool call. So we have here the echo tool. It's an echo chamber in this case. So the message is chamber. It repeats 7 times. Let me execute it. And you can see here the response getting updated, but you can also see here on the side that the tool call shows up. So let me do this with a different parameter. And you can see here it gets updated, but you can also see here the second one shows up. And now say if I was thinking back that maybe the previous call that we made, I know I just changed the parameter, but I want to repeat this one. Say I changed something to my server and I want to repeat this one. I don't need to specifically update all the things again. I can just click on it, and then you can see here the number is back to 7, and we can run it again, and you can see here the results.
There's a bit of a replay of the requests with the same parameters. Okay, that's cool. So this is the inspector piece. What about chat? How does that work? So this is, I'm assuming, a bit similar how I would use my MCP server inside of Claude Code or Claude Desktop.
Yeah, so with chat, we automatically add the MCP server to the chat, so you don't have to configure things. It is there immediately, and earlier you can see here things were deployed, and I just did a demo where I said add 2 numbers for me, and you can see here the result. I mean, these are just we're still figuring things out. We're optimizing the UI. This is far from final, but we're just showing here how you can use the chat to test your...
So this is a bit of a special chat because it also shows information about the MCP server itself being deployed and perhaps even more information around failed calls or...
This is the thing that I'm working most on at the moment. Because,
sort of a debug chat.
I think we can do a lot with this.
Then going into the observability pane. So we kind of already talked about traces. How does this work? So is this middleware? Do I need to instrument my MCP server? How does this work?
So if you deploy on our platform, then you basically, this URL, everything that goes to this URL is something that we can help you getting traces out of. So you don't need to configure anything. All the MCP related calls will show up in here.
Nice. So no need to instrument. Basically, the platform offers this out of the box.
Right. And here you can see this list is basically very similar to what you saw here in the inspector, but we have a little bit more space, so there's more room for all the details to be showed. But we also have like a grouped view, which I thought was interesting. So you can see here, you can basically see in all the traces that we currently have here. You can see which one was done the latest,
yeah.
which had the most calls, which one was the slowest. So you can get a little bit of different insight into what's happening on your platform.
Tool call front.
Yeah.
Okay. And can you show a little bit like more on when I zoom into like a specific trace? What do I get? Yeah. So details, context, timeline.
Yeah. This basically the thing on the left-hand side is what you almost could get from a request response. If you just look at the request response,
like Postman functionality
data, and this is actually more the tracing information. Although we don't have in this case we don't show all the features that are there, but this is the basic instrumentation that's happening. So the request comes in, then we know like okay, the first thing started to be parsed by the server, and then we got some response back. But if there is, for instance, an error happening, or you have a console log statement happening in your code, then it would show up in here. Nice. So you get that sort of information immediately in here for that request. No need to go to different logs.
And then the final pane is deploys.
Deploys. And here you can see the deploy log of the last deploy. There's a drop down. You can see the different.
And this is when you would deploy onto our platform. That's
yes.
what you would see.
Yeah, and then just if you feel like that weird issue that you encountered, well, you already fixed. It should have been fixed by the deploy, and you are unsure whether the latest files are there. You can just see here all the files. And you can see like, is that console log that I just put in there, is that there, or is it just not being called, or that sort of stuff.
Bit of a sense check.
Yeah.
Which reminds me a bit of the FTP days where you could go onto the server to see and check if the thing was deployed.
Right.
So what's next? What's missing? What are you keen to work on?
So like I said, the chat is the thing that needs most work. I think, so what I want to do in the chat, and we have some UI components there already, but they are not wired up. So I would like to be able to switch out different LLM models.
Yeah.
So you can test with the things that you probably are going to use it most with. I want to add more support for different MCP servers. So you can test things in conjunction with other MCP servers. Yeah. I think that would be an interesting thing. You want to be able to change the system prompt. There's lots of stuff, especially for chat. And I think in the observability tab, we can surface more information that is in there. And actually, I think things like time ranges, where you can sort of configure what you see or zoom into specific ranges that you care about, is another thing, but I haven't really figured out what change that will bring to the UI.
Super cool. All right, that's very exciting. Thanks for watching. See you on the next episode.